podcast number 18. My name is Mallory, otherwise known as Just a Dose of Love all around the internet. So you can find me on Instagram, Reddit, Facebook, Ravelry, and Twitter under Just a Dose of Love, though I am most active on Instagram. I am filming on Saturday, March 9th. It's about 8:30 p.m. in Edmonton, Alberta, where I live with my favorite feline Sika, Chris, Connor, and a snake named Heidi. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming to hang out with me again. If you are a new viewer, welcome to the podcast. This is a podcast about knitting and crafts and just kind of whatever else happens to be going on at the moment. Let's see, where should I start? I'm just going to dive right into what's on my needles and we'll see where it goes from there. Okay, so project number one was my Valentine's Day hat. This was a project that I was working on, hoping to release for Valentine's Day, and clearly it didn't happen because I found that as I was going through the pattern, I didn't really like how it was turning out. So I decided to frog it back to the brim, because I absolutely love the brim. I'll show it to you better in a second, but I absolutely love the way that the brim turned out. It's just the body of the hat that I wasn't super fond of. So I finally kind of worked up to frogging everything that I had done from the brim onwards on this hat, and here's where it stands right now. So for anyone who is just watching this podcast for the first time, you haven't seen this yet, and this is what it looks like. So I'm really absolutely in love with these cables here, and then there's the twisted rib, and those cables are just kind of mostly evenly spaced throughout the brim, and the pattern had continued these cables up and started some things in between there, but there was just too much negative space, if you will. The pattern, I just wasn't loving how it was going. I do love this yarn, however. This is the Femme Fatale colorway by Amy over at What's Up Yarn Co. And it's in her Stout worsted base, so that's 100% superwash merino. And I thought it would just be absolutely perfect for a Valentine's Day hat because it's got all these beautiful pinks and some purples and a little bit of orange in some spots. It's just absolutely divine, and it is so wonderful to knit with. And now that Valentine's Day has passed, and I don't really want to wait a whole year to make up a pattern with this, I think it'll just have to be something else. So stay tuned, maybe there will be a future hat pattern on the horizon with this. So that's where that's at. I really just need to put it back on my needles. I have been using my 16-inch Addi circulars, and those are in my, what size are they? The 3.5mm, which is US 4, and the 4mm, which is US 6. And this all right here has been done on the 3.5mm / US 4 sizing, and then I had switched to the 4mm US 6 for the body of the hat. And I'll just have to take that apart now. What I had done, instead of frogging it and putting my needles back through, I had actually just used a tapestry needle with some spare yarn that I had laying around and did it that way. So that is my Valentine's Day, not anymore Valentine's Day hat that was frogged. So I'm pretty proud that I at least got up the, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's the courage to frog a project or even like the nerve to frog a project. It's just, it takes a lot of, for me personally, gumption to frog a project. Is just to decide that this is not what I want. I will take it back and I'm going to make something that I like more. It's just kind of waving bye to those hours that you had previously spent on it. It takes a lot of working up for me. And speaking of working up to frogging projects, for any returning viewers, you will have known that I started my Ease sweater last podcast. It's hanging out in my octopus bag. Aunt Melinda and I had matching bags. Hers was the same kind of fabric, but it was blues and greens. anyways, what was I saying? Yes, frogging back. So this, I had originally been using this yarn for the Tea Leaf Sweater by Bristol Ivy, and I just wasn't really loving how it was knitting up. I wasn't really sure I was going to wear it when it was done, and I fell in love with the Ease sweater. It's by Alicia Plummer. I think that's her name. Yes. That is. Hey, look, I remembered something without looking at my notes. It is the Ease sweater by Alicia Plummer, and it uses worsted yarn, and it's got about the same yardage as the Tea Leaf sweater did, give or take 100 yards or so. And I thought that would be a perfect reuse of my Tea Leaf sweater yarn. So I frogged everything back. I had most of the sweater done. I had half a sleeve done, so there was a sleeve and a half remaining, and then just the trim for the edging on the front. And then I would have been done. However, I mean, if you're not going to love it, you can't finish a project and decide that you'll love it later when, you know, you just know you're not going to. And I feel like I've made mad progress on my Ease sweater in the last 2 weeks. So here it is. This is the back. Okay, here's the front. So I have actually done all of my decreasing to the waist. So I'm going to be doing the cowl neck up top, and the sleeves of course are going to go here, but there's a decrease into the waist, and now I am increasing again going towards the hips. This is the Cloudborn yarn. It's in their sky blue colorway, and it is, oh, what's the base? Oh, my shell's getting all bunched up. I hate it when it does that. Worsted Twist. That's the base. It's 100% superwash merino, and it's super soft. I really love this yarn. I absolutely adore how it is looking in this sweater. If you notice, it looks a little uneven. That'll come out in the blocking, but that's because it was my tea leaf sweater that I had frogged, so it does still have a little bit of that crimpy, well, you know, frogged yarn look. Yeah, so I'm super excited with how much progress I've made on this. It is just flying by. The only reason that I am not closer to the end of the, you know, done the increasing for the waist and started the bottom is because I wanted to start a sock project, which I will show you soon. So I had to pull myself away from this. I was making so much progress. It was great. I honestly am just so proud. I am so proud of how much has been accomplished in the last 2 weeks on this sweater. For anyone who is interested, I am using the Knitpicks interchangeable needles. This is the Sunstruck needles, and this is currently the US 10 or 6mm size. They're circulars. I think they might be 36-inch circulars. Don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. I really love them though. These were my Magic Mystery Mail package that I received, in my Magic Mystery Mail package that I received around Christmas, and I absolutely love them. I am a fan of the Knitpicks interchangeable needles. I really like the Addis too. I love the Addi interchangeables, however, they don't have the smaller sizes like at all, and Knitpicks does, so anyways, that's what my Ease sweater looks like. I'm so proud. I'm gonna have my first actual finished sweater, maybe for summer. And I do wear sweaters in the summer. I kind of wear sweaters year round, so yay! Alright. I am pretty sure I have made no progress on my Coziest memory blanket. That is the Coziest memory blanket by Kemper Wray. Pretty sure I haven't done anything on it. I may have like picked up the stitches to start a new square. That might be as far as I got since last podcast, but I wanted to show it for you, to you, for anyone who hasn't seen it before. So I started my second row on the wrong side. That's why this little square is just hanging out solo. And I'm trying to kind of stay in the sequence of the rainbow. Not exactly, because there are, you know, other colors in there and there are multicolored yarn, but generally in rainbow color sequence. So there we go, working through the yellows and greens into the purples, blues, and my second row on this end. And here it is. I have been seeing, oh, that's the wrong side, I'm sorry. There. Love it. Absolutely love it. This is, I keep referring to it as my someday blanket. It will someday be a blanket, it's just likely not anytime soon. But I love it. I love how it looks when the ends are weaved in. This is probably my favorite side project right now. Or my favorite killing time project. Yeah. And it's going to be an amazing blanket. I did make it wide enough so that it could fit on the queen size bed. And it'll probably end up being a summer blanket maybe. I sleep under, no joke, I sleep under like 5 blankets. Oh, computer, come on, turn on. I sleep under just a fuzzy blanket, and then I have a down-filled blanket, and then I have a quilt on top of that, and then I have another quilt that my mom made, and another fuzzy blanket on top. Just because I really love being snug as a bug in a rug when I sleep. I sleep with the fan on, with the window open, and just absolutely huddled under my blankets. And I sleep on a sheepskin as well, so I've got fuzzy blanket on top, sheepskin underneath. It is perfect. I just love that feeling when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're just like, ooh, it's so warm, and then you fall back asleep. It's just probably one of the best feelings ever, actually. Okay, mini rant over. Snug as a bug in a rug. My mom used to say that all the time. I think at one point I actually rolled up in the rug, area rug, on the floor because she used to say it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. Okay. My last project that I currently have on the go, I have grand plans for this. I wanted to, since I missed the Valentine's Day pattern, I wanted to make a St. Patrick's Day sock pattern. And I'm in love. Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever been happier with a sock design that of my own. I honestly don't think I've ever been happier. So I'm going to show it to you. This also happens to be my only stash enhancement for this podcast, so I'll show you that first. I wanted something green, of course, for St. Patrick's Day. So this is some Cascade Heritage yarn. It's the Avocado colorway. It's also numbered color number 5715. So I guess that's the color number and the color shade is Avocado. I'm not sure how that works out, but anyways, that's just what the label says. And it's the Heritage base, so that's a 7525 superwash merino nylon. And it's just a nice light green because I didn't want to take a chance that the cables weren't going to show through. And I finished the first repeat of the pattern last night. Okay, yeah, I already said it, but so happy with how it's turning out. So happy. I'll just show it to you right now. So, there it is. I've got the same kind of circle cable going on here in the center as on my Kodama socks. And then just a nice little, I don't even know what I'm doing right here. Oh yeah, the loop and back up. And then little side cables, little itty bitty circular cables on the side, on each side. And there's a cable in the back there. Yes. There. I'll just show it to you because I can't keep telling you how much I love it. But I do. I really love it. I love it so much. I'm so excited for this sock to be finished, and I think it's probably going to be my pride and joy for a while, this sock pattern. Having said that, It is not named yet. So if you have any name suggestions, please let me know. I didn't realize how much I loved... Ah, no, I'm dropping a stitch. Come back here, Stitch. There. Okay. No harm, no foul. Stitch is fine. Perfect. I like cables. Cables are fine, but I absolutely love circular cables. Especially little baby ones. Absolutely love them. I had no idea until my Kodoma socks how much I love circular cables. But I think these things are my jam. Just like the whoop, whoop. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I probably should stop talking about these socks. Keep an eye out. This will hopefully be released for St. Patrick's Day. And if you have any name suggestions, please let me know, because I'm terrible at naming things. Awful. Alright. And that is all of the projects that I have on the go right now. What am I drinking tonight? Let's just actually check our time first. Ooh. Okay. Gotta cut the camera here. I'll be right back. And we are back! Sorry, I guess I could have sipped that before starting recording again. Anyways, tonight I'm drinking some hot chocolate, in case you're wondering, and it's in my little nitty mug. That was a gift from Tammy, my boss, and honestly, this is one of my favorite mugs. Absolutely favorite mugs, because it holds warm drinks and symbolizes knitting, which gives me warm articles of clothing. It's great. I really like being warm. Which, like, absolutely conflicts with me not liking summer, because I don't. I hate summer. I hate the sun. It burns me. I hate that you can't get away from the heat. At least in the winter you can just bundle up. You can put on more layers, you can snuggle under the bed with a cat, with a whole bunch of blankets and a sheepskin, or like hang out with your feet on the register or the heat vents. I used to do that a lot at my mom's house, just like put my feet on, put a blanket over, warm air. It's beautiful. You can't do that in the summer. There's not much in the summer that gives you that nice, like, ooh, yay feeling that winter does. I don't even know how I started on this topic. So I'm just going to stop while we're ahead. This is delicious, actually. It's just some cocoa powder and monk fruit extract and hot water and a little bit of whipping cream. Delicious. Okay, so I did show you my stash enhancement for this week, this 2 weeks since last podcast. But what I also wanted to ask for an opinion on, platform kind of pitch, is a color pairing suggestion for when I redo my Origin of Love shawl, which is this one here that I'm wearing. And I did want to wear it so I could show you what it looks like, so you can kind of picture what we're going for here. Now, the next one that that's the wrong side? No, this is... Okay. So the next time I knit this, I'm going to make a couple tweaks to the pattern, because I would like it to be a crescent-shaped shawl instead of straight? I don't know what this... what this shape is called. Anyways, I'd like it to be a crescent-shaped shawl. And I really love this color pairing, which is the black chroma fingering by Knitpicks. It's the single ply, and then this is the Ontario colorway that was in the National Parks collection by Fleece Artist. Yes, last year for Canada's Centennial. So that was the Ontario, what's it, Thousand Islands? Don't quote me on that colorway. Anyways, I really liked how the two contrasted really well. So the National Parks colorway really popped against the black, and I would really like to achieve that again, but I don't know if I want to. Well, I'll just show you the options that I have here. And I'll show you the shawl again. So a couple of stockinette rows there, and then a nice little kind of a butterfly snowflake lacy pattern, and then onto kind of the ripply lacy pattern and a peacock edging bind off. So this is the shawl that I'm going to be knitting these in, and there's 3 different color options here. So feel free to comment your suggestions, your preference, your any comments that you have about these color pairings, because I am so torn on which ones I want to use. Alright, so yarn combination number 1. It is this. So this is the Poolside colorway. It's by Flock Fiber Studios. It's on her Take a Hike sock base, and it's an 80/20 superwash merino nylon for anyone who's interested. Now it's got blues and greens and speckles, and over here it's got like a kind of a toned down blue. So vibrant blue, really vibrant green, and kind of a gray blue and some dark blue speckles. And the pairing option for that would be this. So it's Sweet Georgia in their silver colorway, and it's on the Tough Love sock base, and that's another 80/20 superwash merino nylon base. This is just a flat silver, or I wouldn't even call it tonal. Maybe, no, it's just very silver. And I thought that went really nice with the bluey gray. So here's this potential color pairing. There we go. So I do, like I said, I really like how the Thousand Islands pops with the black, or the black makes the Thousand Islands pop, I guess. But also, having said that, black, you can't see any of the stitch definition on the lace, or at all, actually, because it's black. So it's really the Thousand Islands that's carrying it, this entire shawl. Sorry, just putting these things back. This is kind of a pain in the butt, actually. Okay, there we go. Alright, so that was yarn combination number 1. Yarn combination number 2. Now this was actually originally what I was going to use to knit the second Origin of Love shawl, or another shawl design that I have never thought of, but I just wanted to have extra stash yarn for that. And I actually specifically bought these 2 colors to go together, and they are a single ply. They're both single ply, which I really like for shawls. I actually like single ply a lot for shawls. I find that it's really soft. It's kind of a pain in the butt to start knitting with off the bat until you get used to it, and you stop kind of splitting your threads. But I do really love how soft it is, and it's just, anyways, I'll show it to you. So this is by Color. This is Color Adventure by Enadiomena. I don't know if I said that right. Color Adventure. Anyways, it's the Patina colorway. Patina, I love that word. So it's got kind of like teals, oranges, some browns. Overall, like just an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous colorway. And it's a fancy yarn. It's 75% merino, 15% cashmere, and 10% silk. And it's 115 grams, which is neat because it's a little heavier than normal. So there's that one. And I bought another Knitpicks chroma fingering. It's the gray, and that's 75/25, I think. Nope, 70/30. So 70% superwash wool, 30% nylon. It's just a flat gray, and that's how they look together. So I do think this pairing would give me that pop that I'm looking for. And that's option number 2. I love the patina colorway. Absolutely love it. I have loved it since the day that I bought it. And if I'm being honest, I probably haven't used it yet because I'm just so scared to put it into something that doesn't show it off well enough. Because I think it's exquisite. Absolutely one of the favorite ones that I bought. Okay, so that's color pairing number 2. Number 3. Now this is the only combination that actually uses the same brand of yarn, or same dyer, and it is, I have fond memories of these. I got this at last year's Edmonton Fiber Frolic, I think, and this is the only yarn ink I've ever bought, but I absolutely love it. So this is by Yarn Ink, and it's, well, this one I believe was a exclusive colorway to the Fiber Festival, and I had to nab it because I think it's gorgeous, and this one is one of their regulars, and I think together they are just wow. I actually bought these two together with the intention of knitting them into a shawl of my design. I just didn't know what yet because I don't design shawls very often. I've designed 2 and I haven't released either of them. Anyways, this is the velvet colorway. It's just a really, really soft, like a pastel purple. It's got pops of like a neon pink and dark, dark flecks, purple flecks. That's what that looks like. And this is the Jupiter, so that was the exclusive colorway to the Fiber Frolic Festival. And it's a really, really light, like a pastel blue with some vibrant blue specks, and then kind of almost that same neon pink and those dark purple. And I think that's why these two go so well together, because they both have that neon pink and that dark purple specks, and they're both just kind of nice pastel-y colors, and I think they would be absolutely gorgeous, but not entirely sure that it would give me the pop that I'm looking for on the Origin of Love shawl, but also, does it need a pop? I don't know. I think with 2 colors that go so well together, I don't think it would detract. So I don't know. If you have any input, please let me know, because I am so on the fence and I just don't know what to choose with that. Okay, so that's what has been on my mind as far as knitting goes. I just want to bring up the Great Podcaster Craft together. If you haven't heard about that yet, what it is, so it is a year-long craft together, I guess, that is hosted by Silver Luna. So that is, yeah, Silver Luna 2112 on Ravelry, and I found out about it on her podcast. So that's Jessica's podcast, and it's Silver's Dreamland podcast on YouTube. And so it is a year-long craft together. Basically, to be eligible to join it, you just need to watch a podcast, a knitting podcast. That's it. And if you are interested in taking part, I do have some links down below, and you can check out the Ravelry group. And for anyone who is taking part, don't forget to use the Great Podcaster K2G, K2TOG, so knit together, hashtag everywhere. I have been terrible about using it because this is our little secret, but my hashtags groups, I actually just have a shortcut on my keyboard and it auto-populates them, and that's why I haven't been using it. However, I did uninstall my keyboard on my phone and reinstall it because the one that I was deciding to use it instead was crap, or I just wasn't used to it, didn't like it. So I reinstalled my other keyboard, but I had lost all my shortcuts. So I will be, I guess, having to remember what my hashtag groupings were, and I will definitely make sure I'm putting that in there now. Yes. I've been so bad on social media lately. What else? Is there anything else? There's not a whole lot more going on. International Women's Day was yesterday, so the company that I work with, they had a post with a picture for each of the ladies who work at the company and a cute little caption. We just had to send our social media lady kind of a couple words describing ourselves, or like a short sentence. So mine was, I love bubble tea and sushi and knitting and cats. I love cats. Yeah, it kind of describes me to a T. So there's that. Happy International Women's Day to all of you fantastic ladies out there. I know it's a day late, however, you still deserve the celebration. We all deserve to celebrate ourselves, don't we? Yeah, absolutely. I think so. That is about it, actually. I was kind of thinking that maybe on podcast number 20, it'd be fun to do a giveaway. Haven't thought too much beyond that, but that is kind of something that's been on the brain. Maybe if you have any comments on that, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I think I'm just going to call it here. So I hope you guys have an absolutely splendid rest of your weekend. I hope you stay warm if it's cold where you are, cool if it's hot where you are, safe, cozy, comfortable, and just enjoy everything that you do. Alright, so I will talk to you in 2 weeks. Bye.